What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the NECA Godzilla King of the Monsters Atomic Blast variation of Godzilla. And so here we have the Atomic Blast version of Godzilla posed and out of the packaging. Before we have a look at the figure, let's actually take a look at what Godzilla comes with. Godzilla, of course, does come with the Atomic Breath, which looks really good. It does peg into the mouth, so that looks really nice. We also do get an impact effect, which unfortunately doesn't clip onto the blast, which I would have liked to see that. Other than that, Godzilla doesn't get anything else. We don't get any buildings, no nothing like that, unfortunately. So with that out of the way, let's actually have a look at Godzilla's details. And so here we have a closer look at the Atomic Blast version of Godzilla, and it's the exact same sculpt that we got with the King of the Monsters figure. However, this does have the blue light up variation. There's no lights in it, but what NECA did here, it looks really, really good. You can see there's some blue all throughout the creases and in the scales of Godzilla, so that looks good. We also did get glowing blue eyes. They did paint his eyes silver, which I do like that. It does have a reflective tint to it, so it does reflect light really well, and it does look like the eye is glowing, so that's a really good thing. You can see right here all the blue paint that is just washed into this figure. It looks really, really good. Especially when you start getting up to his spines, you can see how the blue paint looks throughout the figure, and it just looks really, really good. Besides the blue, we have some darker blue, some lighter blue, some silver, some metallic blue. All those colors seem to work wonders on this figure. It looks really impressive. Now, if I have one minor complaint, I think they went a little overboard with the blue. What they should have done is cast Godzilla in a really bright blue plastic and then just start doing wash after wash after wash, so that we got all that really nice detail just popping out. But what they did here was still pretty good. You can see we do have some little power lines going throughout his chest. Right here on Godzilla's arms, you can see that blue plastic that's just done the blue paint just done really well. We do have some really dark metallic blue coming down his arm, and that once again looks really impressive. Metallic blue dry brushing all throughout his torso, and we do get some more of that blue and aqua color just washed in the crevices of Godzilla. Just looks really, really gorgeous. This is a really wonderful piece. You can see they even did paint some, I'm gonna guess, veins, some little parts where it just goes throughout his legs, and that's done with blue and silver. Just overall really do like this. We have some, I love how it's just dry brushed on. We have a darker blue over the silver, and just overall really loving the paint detail on this Godzilla. Unfortunately, besides the paint, it's the exact same figure that we have with the King of the Monsters variation of Godzilla, but the paint on this is really spectacular, and it does pop really, really nicely. Just going all throughout his tail. I kind of wish that they did more with the tail, because his Atomic Breath does start at the tail going up to his head, so just a little thing that they could have done is add a little more light blue going down his spine right here all the way up to his neck, because by the time we get to his neck it kind of does not continue, and I would like to see just a little more continuation on his head. But other than that, still an impressive looking figure. So what we're going to do now is actually get Godzilla compared to other figures you may have in your collection. Here we have Godzilla posed next to a Marvel Legends Cyclops and a DC Multiverse Superman. Here we have Godzilla posed next to a WWE Elite Scale figure and a Mezco 1/12 Collective Popeye the Sailor Man. Here we have Godzilla posed next to a Lightning Collection White Ranger and a Star Wars Black Series Mandalorian. And finally, here we have Atomic Blast Godzilla posed next to the NECA King of the Monsters Godzilla. So with that out of the way, let's actually have a look at Godzilla's articulation now. Godzilla here does have a ball joint in the head. Unfortunately, we didn't get too much up and down movement. We get some really slight head pivot on there. It's mainly going to turn a little bit. So we get really good turning on his head, which is pretty impressive for Godzilla. We do have a hinged jaw, which is a little bit stiff on mine. Just a little more heat treating and that should work fine. We do have a ball joint in the neck, which just like with his head, we don't get too much movement. It can shift back and forth, does rotate left and right. Just got to be careful because the spines here do butt up against one another, so you got to be really conscious about how you move that. Arms are on a ball joint, I believe, because they do go out to about there. They do a full 360. They do rotate in and out on that ball joint. We do have an elbow joint, which goes about that far straight, giving us close to 90 degrees. We do have a hinge in the hand, which his claws are really sharp, so do be careful. Hinge and rotation. We do get a ball joint here in the torso. Now mine is a little bit loose. You can see it doesn't take much force, but you can shift that back and it just holds in place. You can shift it forward and that gives you a little bit more movement. It can rotate side to side as well as has some pivot, so I do like that. Legs do, I think it's on a ball joint because they don't seem to swivel out like a regular peg, so, but I can't get them to go in. I wonder what type of joint that is. I think it's still a ball joint, but I'll have to double check that. We do have a hinge in the knee, which that's as far as it goes back. You can straighten it out, although most of the time you're going to have it right there. A ball joint in the ankle, which goes forward and back really well. It does go side to side and rotate. And then we have segments in the tail, which is a double ball joint. So we do have double ball joint here, all throughout the tail. I believe it's every second one. You can see we have a ball joint here, 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 going all throughout the tail. So we do get some pretty good movement on that tail. Unfortunately, the ball joints don't support the weight all too well. You can see it does go down after a while, but you can manipulate it so that the spines hold it up. Something like that. So it can be done if you put the work in for it. So that's Godzilla for you guys. So what I'm going to do now is take a little break, get him posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have Godzilla posed for my final thoughts, and overall I really do like this figure. At first I was thinking I really wasn't going to like it because of how much blue was on this figure. I originally thought the NECA overdid it on the blue, but I think they did a really good job here. It really does look like Godzilla looked toward the end of the movie when he was souped up on radiation. So I'm pretty sure that's the look they were going with on this figure. I am glad to have it in my collection, although I can see how this figure isn't for everybody. If you're not a fan of repaints or having the same mold over and over again, I can see how you would pass on it. However, if you are a Godzilla fan like me and you really did enjoy King of the Monsters, you're going to want to have this Godzilla in your collection. I know I did find this Godzilla at Target, but he will be available on other online retail, GameStop, FYE, wherever you pick up your NECA figures, and he will run you about $25. With that being said, guys, I'm KingofDragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, check out all my other action figure reviews, as well as all my other Godzilla videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos, and as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.